Hey guys, welcome along to Stories of Light, probably our favorite session of the week, where we get to hear some great testimonies because this is a business of people sharing with people, and we share our personal testimony and we share our story. And it's just, it is such a privilege to actually hear people's stories. And isn't it? And
Oh,
it's
totally.
and it's a real privilege that when we also have introduced people and it's had a profound effect on them, or they've introduced someone, they've shared it with someone, they've shared it with someone, and then suddenly someone's life's changed. And I just love that. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the business, and it's all part of our passion. So for those that don't know me, my name's Chris Boone,
And I'm Andrea Phillips.
and we're going to spend 30 minutes and to run through. We've got some great testimonies, so we're not going to muck around. We're going to get straight into this. But I am going to share, where are we? I'm going to share my screen. There's a couple of things I need to go through, and we're just going to set the scene here. So tell me if we can see that. It's around the corner. Cool. We got all that? So we're talking about a wearable light frequency patch that captures our own body's light, reflects it back, elevates a peptide, the GHK copper peptide, and reactivates our dormant stem cells. So tonight we're going to be talking about personal testimonies. And because we are talking about personal testimonies, it's important that we throw this disclaimer right up front, because LifeWave products are a general wellness product and are intended only to maintain or encourage a general state of health or healthy activity. So LifeWave or us, we're not doctors, we're not clinicians, we never claim that the LifeWave products will treat, cure, or diagnose any condition or disease, sickness, or illness. But what we can do, and because this is not an FDA approved product, if it was an FDA approved product, it would be a medical product and could only be recommended by medical clinicians. This is FDA cleared, so it's still regulated, but it's regulated as a wellness product. So we can share that with personal testimonies.
So here's the man behind LifeWave, Dr. David Schmidt. He is the CEO and inventor of X39. So now he has well over 200 patents. He is the scientist and inventor, and what he does is he specializes in age reversing. So in 2008, David focused his attention on the stem cell research, and his recent patent took him 10 years and 4.5 million USD to bring it to the market.
That's what we're talking about tonight. So it's patented technology. Now, to get a patent, you can't patent a placebo. You can't patent an idea. You have to be able to prove it does what you say it does. So here's the patent. We're going to show you where you can go and have a look at the patent. I'm not going to read it out, but you can see all the great benefits. Talks about elevating the GHK Cu copper peptide. Had to be able to prove that to get the patent. So which is a naturally occurring peptide in the body. And once that is elevated, that can then regenerate the dormant stem cells. So we're talking about a LifeWave. Last year, they won the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year award. Now, what's important about this? This is not a direct sales award. This is not a LifeWave award. This is not even a Warm Fuzzies award. This is a scientific award. It's a global award. There were thousands of nominations from 15 different countries, and LifeWave took out the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year award last year.
So why the X39 stem cell activation patch? Well, most of us have all heard of stem cells, but we don't really know too much about them. But our stem cells make up every organ in our body. So when we're born, we are made up of stem cells, but as we age, our stem cells start to become dormant. So by the time we're 30, we only have 60% of them are active, and at 60, less than 10% of the stem cells are active.
Yeah, that's why we seem to age faster and heal slower. Look, really simply, this is light frequency. The sun is light frequency. So the genius of David Smith, let me give you an analogy. If I asked you, where does vitamin D come from? Now, everyone that has probably been on this call before should know that answer, but if you're brand new, most people say the sun. No, it doesn't. I thought it came from the sun. The vitamin D is already in our body. It's a naturally occurring vitamin in our body, but it needs the sun's rays to elevate it. So the sun's rays hit at a light frequency, which elevates the vitamin D already in our body. So we're not doing anything harmful to our body. We're just elevating what's already there. Works exactly the same with the X39. It's a wearable light frequency patch. Inside of this, nanocrystals, amino acid salts. It is designed to capture some of our own body's light because we're beings of light. Our mitochondria gives off light. We give off infrared light. All this does, just like the sun, it harnesses some of that, reflects it back, and that elevates a naturally occurring peptide in our body, the GHK-Cu copper peptide. When that's elevated in the bloodstream, that signals to our dormant stem cells, hey, wake up, come back and do what you're meant to be doing and healing the body. So there is no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. It's completely non-invasive. It's only a mirror, and it's not going to harm your body because it's only waking up what's already there. Your stem cells are there. It's just waking up what's already there.
So how do we wear the X39? Well, it's very simple. It's just peel and stick, really. So you just peel the back off, and you can stick it on the back of your neck on your C7, or 2 fingers below your belly button, or actually if anywhere on the body that it hurts, you can put it on there. It's no problem at all. So ideally you wear it for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So drink lots of water, electrolytes, even Celtic salt during the day, and then at night remove it. So it just gives the body time to rest and repair.
Fantastic. And so, look, now tonight is about stories of light. We want people to share their testimonies. This is really what got us across the line, wasn't it?
Yep.
You know, we're going, boy, all these people were saying this, but they're saying the same thing, all different walks of life, all different conditions. And when we started to hear the different people what they were experiencing, we're going, there's got to be something in this. So we started wearing this ourselves just for general well-being. And I guess my attitude really was, why wouldn't I? You know, for less than a cup of coffee a day, I always have 2 coffees a day. I'm feeling rigid with that one. If I sacrifice 1 cup of coffee a day, I could afford it. And what they were telling me, even if they're half right, I'd be mad not to try it. So second best decision I've ever made. My first best decision to get engaged to this lovely lady. My second best decision was the stem cell joining LifeWave and using it. We've been using it for around about 18 months. So we're going to start tonight. We're going to, when I get my stop share, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to invite Matt. Do you want to come on, please? Do you want to unmute yourself, Matt?
Yeah, good evening, Chris. Good evening, Andrea, and everyone.
Hey, Matt. So, hey, listen, buddy, do you want to just share with us your story?
Yeah, love to, and thank you for the opportunity to share it tonight. My story sort of begins with in connection with a really great couple that are also in LifeWave, and Anthony and Haley were friends of ours, and we knew them for a shared interest in investing in precious metals, and so Anthony just put it in front of me one day. Said, Matt, you've got to consider this LifeWave patch and look into it. Keen to journey through it with you, and I did. It's something that he sent me some information, and I just looked at it, and I knew pretty well straight away that this is something I needed to try. And our family's had some health challenges, and for me personally, we've had a lot of shifts and changes in the last 12 months. My health wasn't the greatest, and so we were keen, and we said to Anthony, look, get us on board, we'll sign up. So we got our patches in the mail one day, and we said to Janine, my wife, who's on tonight as well, let's get them on. And we're sitting on the couch. My in-laws were visiting, and I start sort of within 20 minutes, I could feel some warmth in this patch. And I start sort of just wriggling around on my seat. And I said to Janine, because I've suffered a lot of back pain, being a farmer for 25 plus years, bouncing around in tractor cabs. I don't know if there's any other farmers on here tonight that can relate. And turning around always over my right shoulder. I had a right hip issue that required constant going to the chiropractor to get manipulated and sorted out every fortnight. It stopped me from sleeping well and being comfortable. And so within 20 minutes, this patch had actually drawn out this ache that I've had, I would say, for 15 years. And I said to Janine, you wouldn't believe this. Like I'd like to consider myself as a pragmatic guy, being a man off the land, and you know, I like to call things the way they are. I said, this ache is gone. Like, it's unbelievable. And I got up and stretched it out, and I said, you know, it's shifted this pain. So that in itself was just huge for myself personally. But as we journeyed along, we just found, you know, wake up in the morning and you can jump out of bed. And in the past, I'd sort of jump out of bed and crack like a glow stick. there'd be things cracking, and instead of glowing, I'd be groaning. But now I get up and I've got this freedom in movement. Like the inflammation in my lower back has sort of must have gone down. I've got a lot more just freedom to move and be active, and even notice with my work now, I travel for extended periods of time, and I can jump out of the car after 3 hours feeling fresh and not stiff, and as I get out of the car, I've got full range of movement. So for me, it's just been wonderful, and I guess on top of that, just the ability to get a really good night's rest, a deep sleep where I wake up feeling rested. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a lot of hours of sleep, but I still wake up having slept very deeply, dreaming a lot, but feeling rested as I wake up. And so, also sort of in another business that I've kicked off in the last 8 months, and I found I used to have a lot of brain fog that even caffeine couldn't shift. And so as we've journeyed through on this patch, we've been on it for approximately 7 weeks, I think now. Just clarity of thought, my ability to focus, and my ability to be productive in those hours of the day. I don't know how other people find it, but from about 1 to 3 p.m., I can still get things done that I need to get done. Where in the past I found it a real struggle to focus and be efficient in those hours. So for myself personally, it's just been a game changer for my family. I've got 3 boys and a beautiful wife, and Ryder's our middle son, and he for the last 18 months has been struggling with I guess you'd call it a type of chronic fatigue, to the extent that he couldn't go to school and missed all of year 10. He'd find himself sleeping sort of 18 hours a day and then waking up exhausted even after that period. And we've gone through naturopaths, we've looked into every avenue that we possibly knew of, and while we saw some little gains, he wasn't able to get back to the quality of life and experience all a 16-year-old should be able to experience. And his journey on these patches, while I wouldn't say he's 100% back to where he was, he's just a different boy. He sleeps, he doesn't need to sleep as much. He's waking up looking fresher. He has taken up driving again, where he didn't have the energy, and it's just been so much more engaging with us and others, because he's got the energy to give. And for many of us that are perhaps introverts, we need energy to be able to give out. So it's been Chris and Andrea, we're stoked. Like we've been praying for breakthroughs in our health and for our boys as well, and this has really helped us. And what it does, it reignites hope where there was no hope, and expands our horizons once again, because we feel the best versions of ourselves that we have for a long time.
That is beautiful.
Hey, it is beautiful, mate. There's 2 stories in there, isn't there? You know what it's done for you, what it's done for your son, and for those that are relatively new on, Matt is what we call a one-patch wonder. So the first patch hit him, which is fantastic. We love one-patch wonders. For me, I sort of took about 5 weeks before, and I think you're about 4 or so. But hey, to get that result in one patch, what a fantastic result, Matt. So
and as parents, we just want our children to be well and happy and do what they should be doing at that age. So that's great. That's great that he's got all that energy back again.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. We've got our kids on it too, by the way. Yeah, and it's made some big changes. So, hey, thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it, buddy. Great story.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
So now I'm going to just call on Ray Sheath. He's a really good friend of ours. So Ray's got quite an incredible story. So Ray, do you want to just come on, unmute, mate, and share your story?
Yep, sure. Good evening. How is everyone? My story was this. I met Chris and Andrea in Vietnam and Cambodia while we were on a little trip, and we established a really good friendship. So he came up and showed me this business opportunity and talked about these patches, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. And I was like, yeah, a little skeptical, but I thought, you know what, I'll give it a shot. But around about August, September last year, I started getting this tingling and pain in my feet. And I thought I better do the Dr. Google on this. and then look it up. And sure enough, I found out it was neuropathy. So that sort of sparked me into going and getting a blood test for the first time in probably 15 to 18 years, because I'm starting to, get a little bit older. And I was like, okay, neuropathy. Had the blood test. I was in Queenstown at a Money Hub conference because I'm a financial advisor. And my wife rang me up and said, you got to get to an emergency clinic. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? She wouldn't say anything else. She just take your bloods and give me a call later. Walked into the Queenstown emergency clinic, and within 2 minutes, the nurse is in front of me, stabbing me in the thumb. And I'm like, that hurts. A bit of blood coming out. She says, are you okay, Mr. Sheath? And I went, absolutely. I feel great. Why? And she didn't say a thing, tootled off. And in about 3 minutes, I'm in front of a doctor. She accompanies me into the practice, and I'm like, okay. She goes, how are you? And I went, I feel great. What is going on? She goes, hey, are you sure you feel great? Yep, absolutely. I feel on top of the world. So, do you know much about your HB1Cs? Nope, not a thing. And here I am, I sell life insurance and health insurance, and I'd seen other people's, but I was like, it's not going to happen to me. And she goes, do you know what the normal levels are? And I went, no idea. She goes, 0 to 40. I went, oh, okay. What are you? No idea. She goes, 117. And it sort of, as Chris says, blindsided me big time. He says it through rugby injuries. I got blindsided with my blood sugar levels. And, I'm fit. I play golf. I'm an international table tennis player. So this really hit me, like a sledgehammer. And I said, okay, what have I got to do? She says, you're going to be on metformin and a protein diet. I went, okay, I can do the protein, metformin, okay, whatever, I'll do it. But for a month, I was suffering major diarrhea. And I was like, what's going on with this stuff? So I looked it up. It causes pancreatic cancer and starts affecting your brain. So I tipped down the toilet 330 tablets and went, I don't need that in my life. And I put the X39 on the back of my neck and SP6 above my left ankle. And within 2 months, I dropped to 60. So I more than halved it. Ironically, my doctor thinks that he's done the right thing by putting me on metformin. I haven't had the heart to tell him, no, sorry, doc, I don't use your tablets. I also changed my diet. I stopped drinking about a litre and a half of Coca-Cola a day, but it was the zero stuff, and they tell you it's good for you, but I can tell you this, it is not. It's not good for you at all. So yeah, I have untold energy. I'm wearing a glutathione you can see here at the moment, and that's because I'm flying to India on Friday. So I'm away for 10 days there, and I get back to New Zealand for one day, and then I fly to Orlando with Chris and Andrea. So I'm really trying to protect myself. I've got my carnosine ready for Delhi Belly and stuff like that as well. So absolutely believe in these things 120%. That's for sure.
And that's amazing, Ray, because your blood, you had the bloods obviously before, then the bloods after, so you can see that, and we can feel it. And it's always good to feel it, but when you actually got the test done and the test results, there's the physical evidence right in front of you. And listen, for you, I mean, that is life saving, not just life changing, but it's life saving.
Yeah.
Because I've always known you as a fit guy, and for that to hit you so hard, and it spiked so much without you even realizing. And,
Oh,
and so the beauty too, and I was just listening to one of the doctors this afternoon on the panels that we just had, and he was talking about as a maintenance program. So, you're better off not having to get there and come back down, but just stop ever getting there. And he said that's why if you are healthy, that's why you should be wearing these patches, because it's going to
oh,
maintain and longevity. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I thank you and Andrea for the opportunity of starting to use this amazing technology.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a privilege, buddy. Hey, thanks, Ray.
Thanks,
Really
Ray.
appreciate it, mate. Awesome. Now we're going to bring on Caleb. Caleb last year at Level Up in Kingscliff. A wonderful young man. He's fit, he's enthusiastic, he's very intelligent, and incredibly helpful. In fact, he helped us navigate through our filming of it. So, Caleb, do you want to just come on and share your story with us, please, mate?
Thank you. And I just want to extend a big thank you to the other two guys who have shared their stories, because it's such an encouragement to hear that the impact it has not just on their lives, but the lives of those around them, and the courage they have in sharing. So I'm going to share a bit of my medical history going back 2 years. So going back into 2024, in January, I had severe burnout and pretty much liver, blood, and what was the other one? Gut failure, I think it was, in total. And they said, look, putting it nicely, you've got 3 months left. We can't give you any medicine that'll help. Go home, rest up, say your goodbyes, and that's it. And it was, I looked at them, I was exhausted, I had a burnout, everything was going wrong. The family was moving house. I was just like, I've had enough of this. I'm not taking the doctor's word for it. So did some ring around, found a naturopath, and they said, okay, let's run some tests. They actually sent me back in to do my bloods. My white cell count was 1.2. The average is 4.5. And if it's fighting an infection or anything, it should be up near 8. It shows that the immune system had completely failed. So there was some severe brain fog, couldn't think clearly, was sleeping every sort of couple of hours, couldn't even walk 500 meters without sleeping for 4 hours afterwards. And the naturopath said, okay, at this point I didn't know about the patches. They said, look, we've got some stuff for your gut, but everything else you're just going to have to let your body sort itself out. So that was pretty rough, and I got back on my feet sort of 3 months later and went back into the doctor and told him that he had diagnosed me wrong, and we had a bit of a chuckle about that. I said, I'm not dead yet. We'll come back to that in 6 months' time. And I really should have kept my mouth shut, because 6 months later I was sitting back in that chair and was told once again that I had 3 months left to live, only for a completely new issue. And that was sort of July through to September of 2024. This time it was my lungs. So my lungs were partially failing. They say partially failing because it wasn't a full failure. I couldn't sleep properly at night, so I had my parents coming in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just to check that I was still breathing. I was severely exhausted, massive energy drains, pretty much chronic fatigue, and 3 months left to live. And then right near the end of those 3 months, they said, look, you've got 2 weeks. We can't do anything. You've got 2 weeks. And I didn't ring anyone except Vanessa, because I had her number. And I said, look, I don't know what these patches are, but somebody told me to ring you if I ever had any trouble. So she got us the patches within, I don't know how quickly. It was like within the week I was on patches. And 2 weeks after I got on the patches, I went back into the doctor, and he goes, we don't know what you're on or what you're doing, but keep doing it, because this will keep you alive. And 3 months later, after being on X39 and Aon, so it was X39, Aon, and I think it was Carcinine or glutathione. There was 3 patches I was on every day for 3 months. It was quite a financial investment, but it was worth it. I'm still alive to tell the tale. I stopped patching after that, sort of the end of the year, because I was like, look, financially I can't keep coughing up a very large amount, because I said to mum and dad, I want to do this, and they said, okay, well, you've got to fund it. So pretty much my monthly paychecks were just rolling into patches for 3 months, and I said, I can't keep doing this, so stopped. And then April this year, I finally got back into my long distance running, which is anywhere between 50 and 80 Ks when I go for a run. So it's fairly solid. I then had a bit of a heart scare where I was out running. I've got a smartwatch that's linked up, and my heart rate went up. I think it was over 200 and then dropped down to sleeping heart rate. And the watch was sending all kinds of warnings. My phone was going nuts. I passed out on the side of the road, woke up a few seconds later, well, what my watch recorded as a few seconds later, and then got up and went, I'm still 8Ks from home, so kept running. That was a really dumb move because by the time I got to the doctor, he goes, when did this happen? So that was the next day I got into the doctor. I'd already rang Vanessa again. I said, hey, look, I need to get on the patches. My heart's playing up. I'm seeing results that's saying that the people on the patches have a average age reversal of the heart by about 8 years. And I went, I could really do with that right now. So I got back on them. I'd gone down to 20-hour work weeks just because my heart was playing up and I wasn't sleeping properly. Once again, extreme exhaustion and chronic fatigue. So really struggled. And then when the patches finally arrived, which was just around Easter, I think it was, after patching for 1 month, so I'm a bit like Chris and Andrea, it took weeks to see the results this time. But after patching for 4 weeks, I went back to work. I was doing 50-plus hour work weeks, back to my running, and I finally had the energy to actually do things outside of work as well. And let's just say I haven't looked back from there. It's been pretty crazy, but very, very thankful for the patches and very thankful for the grace of God, I must admit.
Wow. Well, and the fact that you called Vanessa and that's fantastic. And so now you know, and I think when you learn to level up, well, it's just if you can, you build a small team of people, the company's going to reward you for sending them business, and that covers the cost of your patches. But what a story! I don't quite know how I would handle that, and someone so young and vibrant like yourself. Someone says you got 3 months to live twice, and then you've got 2 weeks to live. And the patches brought you back to life. And it's just, I mean, and people outside of this go, well, how does a patch do that? Well, the patch doesn't do it. The patch elevates the DHK in your bloodstream, naturally occurring peptide, which then signals to your stem cells, wake up, we need you to heal the body, because that's what they're there for. And they just go dormant as we age. So, hey, listen, mate, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Get yourself over to New Zealand. We're going to love seeing you. Give you another big hug, buddy. And we're going to host you around our place when you come over. We'd love to see you when you get to New Zealand.
I've seen some photos. I'll be there. I've seen some photos of the garden. I really want to have a walk in the garden.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Sorry, I should have warned everyone to bring some tissues for Caleb's story.
No, that's great. No, Andrea heard that this morning in the brand partner session and said, no, we've got to have Caleb on. So I'm so glad. And listen, mate, thanks for the courage for sharing that. Thanks, Ray. I mean, we got 2 people that could possibly be dead right now without the patches. And we got Matt's quality of life, and it changed dramatically, and his boy's quality of life changed dramatically. There's 3 people. We've only brought 3 people on. We could bring a bunch on, but we only got 30 minutes. We're going to wrap up in 5 minutes. We're just right on the 30 minutes, but we're going to wrap up in 5 minutes. But it was just 3 blokes tonight, and it's just pure coincidence. But we've had some incredible stories, life-changing stories, and we'll be doing this again next week. I would suggest it'll be Dr. Anton will be on next week, and then we will, and there'll be 3 different stories coming together. So thank you, guys. Super appreciative of you sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to quickly wrap up. I'm going to show you a couple more slides. I'm going to share my screen again just to show you how if you're brand new along here, you can access these. Where's my thing gone? Oh, there it is. No, it's up. All right, there we go. We've just got a whole new setup here, so I've got new screens all over the place that I'm working on. So there's 3 ways to purchase. So you can come in at retail, and so this is less than a cup of coffee a day. If you're in Australia, it's about $6, probably less than that, $5 something. In New Zealand, it's about $6.50. It's about $180 in New Zealand. It's less, obviously, in Australia. But look, for a cup of coffee a day to change your health outcome is just, I mean, why wouldn't you? And so there's three ways you can do this. You can buy this at retail, but that's going to cost. Sorry, the sleeve here. It's as I said, $6.50 in New Zealand. It's about 180 in New Zealand, probably about 150 in Australia, plus a little bit of shipping. And so retail it's 99 US, so it's 149 at retail. Now, again, I wouldn't know why you would do that when you can actually become a preferred customer. You just you go on a subscription every month. One of these arrives, you pay for it. You're not locked into it. It's not like a 6-month, 3-month, 12-month thing. While you are getting benefit from them, you'll continue to use them, and you can get them at wholesale. Or you can become a brand partner and you can earn some money here. So as Caleb said, he struggled as a young man early on just paying for the patches because he needed a lot of often just the X39 will do it. But because of his seriousness of his condition, he needed a lot of support patches. Ray also, seriousness of his condition, he needed some of the support patches. I would suggest Matt just use the X39. I only use the X39. Andrea only used the X39 initially in the early phases. But you can refer a handful of people to the company because this is word of mouth marketing, it's referral marketing, network marketing, whatever term you like to call it. But it is just referring the company to people. The company deals with the people, and they will send you a rebate for sending them business, and that will cover the cost of your patches. Or you can make a proper business out of that if you want. It can be a part-time business, it can be a full-time business. And you can become a brand partner with LifeWave. So now you can set up your own business. This is a sleeve. As I said, there's 30 in here. That's a month's worth, 99 US. So you could get you don't pay anything to join the company. There's no join up fee. You just get one of the introductory packs, which is either 3 sleeves as a core, 295 US, so just under 500 New Zealand. Or if you want to build a business, you'd come in at the advanced, get yourself 6 sleeves, at least advanced. That's the entry level for a business, someone who wants to run a business. And then the premium pack. Now that's for the serious entrepreneurs that want to actually run a business. We're on premium. We're on premium pretty quick. We started at advanced because we thought we'd just use it ourselves. But we soon realized we wanted to make a business of that. And I think within about a week or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We upgraded to premium. And then we just go on a monthly subscription again. So you don't have to think about it every month at one of these, or if you're on a 2-sleeve subscription, that is shipped to you. But look, if you want to, and I'm just going to close before I hand over to Andrea to finish off. But if you are brand new on here, this is at info.com. There's some great information, talks about the patents. You can read for yourself what the patent is, a whole bunch of the studies. They didn't make a lot of sense to me. I just know the stuff works, so I haven't really sort of worried about it too much, because when I know something works, I mean, I've got quite a nice car. I have no idea how the thing works, that engine. I just know it works. Same with my cell phone. I have no idea how it works. It just works. And I know this works. Absolutely works. Changed our lives, changed our families' lives, and you heard 3 very powerful stories tonight. This is a team. If you want to build a business, there's a whole bunch of information there. But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing now because we've just gone over our time by 5 minutes, and I'm just going to let Andrea can close off.
So thank you very much, everybody, for coming on here tonight, and a special thank you to Matt, Ray, and Caleb for sharing their testimonials. They were just, there's no words for some of them. So it's just, and like Chris said, the lives that it's changing, and so just keep getting out there and spreading the word about it. So amazing, guys, and thank you so much.
And you just don't know who is right now sitting at home in incredible pain or disillusion with no hope. And you ring them and you can change their whole life.